This was my situation as to deciding whether I should just give up and quit YouTube through no fault of my own, and this is what occurred. I can of course do a complete meltdown. I was going down the plug hole in my life anyway, and YouTube was my way of release, of meeting up with like-minded people and just getting me through the day. So I did lives so I could connect with people and forget my worries and my woes. I could, of course, have asked you all for a plug to stop me going down the plug hole, but I like to make my life positive as possible. I have mentioned some of these circumstances within different lives randomly as the story progressed, but here it is in one episode to explain the whole situation. I had already chosen to press the reset button, but with all this chaos that I'm going to tell you, it basically meant I would have to reset the reset button. No thanks to the threats of being told my channel and videos were going to be taken down. And I need to mention here, I have 3 channels. 1 is monetized and 2 are not. So I was told I was having strikes to my channel through no fault of my own, and I followed all procedures which were ignored. So what is the situation? Well, the situation was basically copyright music that was not copyright music and completely free to use. And before you jump in and say, oh, use YouTube's copyright free music, let me tell you, prior to this, I had used it and I was getting copyright claims on that. A lot of it is not free to use, and some of this situation is because YouTube wants you to use their music because they get paid for promoting it and people using it. So what happened is I am extremely careful to only use music where the person who says you can use the music has a written statement somewhere that says the music is completely free to use in YouTube with no consequences. I always only use those pieces of music. Now, the first situation was, if any of you know Microsoft Edge, you've now got a component on there where you can make videos, you can do thumbnails, you can do AI, which I don't use, all those kind of things, make thumbnails, any concept for videoing, editing, making animation, all sorts of things. And that is called Clipchamp. And I like Clipchamp. I like it. I use Canva, which is more simple for me with my brain damage, but I go on to Clipchamp when I've made a video or something from Canva and I want to add music to it, because Canva doesn't have free music. It has about 3 bits of free music. Whereas Clipchamp 100% guarantees if you click on their free to use music section, the music is completely free to use. Now, under every video where I use that, I have always put that in as the music credit. There is nothing else you put. You just put the Clipchamp statement. And they were very good making sure, and I reconfirmed when I got a few copyright claims, and they said, no, continue to use it. Doesn't matter what's being said, it is free to use. If the person claiming says you can't use the music, they need to first of all remove it from Clipchamp's free to use music site. And they said all the while they're not, you continue to use it. Well, then I started getting messages from Hawk, which is one of the places where they delve in and say you can't use music when you can, on Hawk. And I know Hawk is very dodgy. If you ever have a claim from Hawk, it's probably wrong. You can probably still use the music. So just be sure you can, and then ignore that. And often with Hawk, when you look at the piece of music, it actually says it's a scam. It actually says someone else owns music to where you get it from. And this is another reason why I always have a Word doc, and any piece of music I use, I write down what I've used in what video and save the URL and where I got it from. So I know straight away, but it's a little scam because of course they want you to go, oh, all right, share the money, because that's basically what some of these sites are. They want you to share the income and not have to change your video. And if you want to know how to change your music, I can tell you all that. Anyway, so Clipchamp kept saying leave it. So I kept putting up the copyright. You can go in and say, no, I do have a right, and put the URL or the notification where it says you can. And I did that so much. I was literally doing it several times, several days at a time, because I also used, as it was free to use and safe, and I had this wording to say I could use it, I also do little interludes and little title bits throughout my whole lives. And as you can imagine, I'd spent many hours doing that. And every time I did a live, I had about 20 or more copyright claims. It was getting ridiculous. So I went back onto Clipchamp. They guaranteed still I could use it. So I was still using it and re-putting the claim up. But then, I don't know why, they then suddenly decided all these copyright claims, they would reject the copyright claims. And this was now being done by SyncVault. They were rejecting all the statements by Clipchamp to say the music I can use, it is free to use with no issues. They were rejecting that. So then, I don't know if you've ever got further than that. Of course, you can trim out the music or change the music, but I'm somebody who likes fair play. If it says I'm able to use it and the owners or the platform has guaranteed you are free to use it, why would you either get rid of the music, change the music, share the monetization, or just take it down? Why would you? I don't understand. So if you've ever got further than that, the next stage is when your copyright claim's been rejected, you then have an appeal. It comes up. If you still think you're right, you can appeal. Well, of course I'm right. Now, the appeal, you have to fill these forms in. And I'm a little bit dubious because they want your name, your full address. I don't have an address, so I just made up an address, which tells you they don't look properly anyway. I don't have an address. I live rural in a remote area. So I made up an address, and I thought I was going to get flagged for that, but it didn't. And you have to put an appeal why you think you're still right, but it states you may not reuse any information that you've already used. So you can't use like the appeal that says Clipchamp has written to say I can use it. So what do you do? And my appeals have been rejected because obviously they're not accepting the actual claim that says I can use it. You can't put that back in the appeal. I did put it back in the appeal, and saying that if you won't like go with this, what else can I do? And they were issuing, they said you would go to court, you would get fined. So I just left it, and it says you've got so many days. And then the next thing comes up, you can cancel the appeal. If you cancel the appeal, we won't take, because it said we'll take your videos down if you're wrong, but they were also going to take your videos down anyway if you appeal, so they could look into it, but they wouldn't put them back up if they didn't agree with your claim. And so they said they were going to take your videos down and take further proceedings if I was wrong. Now, there's nothing, they get penalised by continually keep saying to me, videos copyright is not correct. And then on the first type of copyright, they said, oh, it is okay now to use, and I'd carry on initially before this appeal situation. And then the next day, I'd get a copyright claim for the same bit of music. I asked YouTube why they get no penalties for continually making the same claims on the same bit of music to the same person. And they said, we can't do anything about it because if someone owns a piece of music and they put in a claim, whether they've done it before or not, we have to issue this information. So they said they were going to take my videos down unless I take away the appeal. Now this made me change, not use Clipchamp anymore because obviously that was going nowhere. And I changed, sadly, to a company I had been a YouTube music platform that I had used for a long time, and I promote it continually, saying I've used it for years, it's really safe, I've never had any claims. And that company is Roa. It's a YouTube channel, ROA, Roa Music. And suddenly I was getting copyright claims left, right and centre after I had changed all my interludes and introductions and everything on my lives to all Roa's music, because I thought, give up with Clipchamp. I'm spending hours keep going over these copyright claims. So leave that, get rid of them all. It took me days and days because I have brain damage. It takes me far longer to do anything than anyone else. And I changed all my lives to Roa Music because it was safe. As soon as I did that, now let me just say, all these copyright claims aren't coming up on the lives, so that's not the situation. Any music and even videos back 2 years, suddenly I was getting copyright claims on all Roa music. So I contacted Roa and explained the situation, and I thought they've got to know if someone's messing about, because it's bad for their channel if people go and walk away from their channel's music because of hassle. So I let her know, because I tried to look up the email and I couldn't get an email for it. And as I've said before, it takes me a long time to type something out like that. So I tried to do her an email with all the information, with the URL and what video it was, what piece of music, so on and so forth, and the situation. And I pressed send. It says that email doesn't exist. And I'd copied and pasted it from when she'd put in her channel what the email was. So I had nothing else to do other than to send it to her channel, because I needed to get this to her. I'd said prior to that on her channel, your email's not working, it's not right, something's not right. Heard nothing back, so I had no choice but to send all this information I'd typed out in this email. I copied it and pasted it into her channel. Since then, all my messages to her have been taken down, which I understand, because you don't want all this issue being aired on your channel. But if you can't send me somewhere where I can send the information to, and I've had no response, no reply, so I just sent her one more message on her channel, and I just put, because of continuing situations basically with what's going on, and I told her it was SyncVault was the issue, so deal with it through SyncVault, whatever's going on there. And I said I've been advised an actual social media lawyer, and send all the information there with any channels that is unresolved with SyncVault issues. So I'm not going to stop using that music because I'm so happy with it, but I had an appeal with that channel. And it's a piece of music, as I say, I've used years and years. The rest of that day's copyright information saying I couldn't use the music, and I did the copyright thing and it all came back, oh yes, sorry, they haven't replied in so many days, so you can carry on using music, all bar one track, and this is the track that is the issue. Anyway, so I did the appeal on that. And as I say, it says you have to take down the appeal or you're going to lose your videos, i.e. you can't complain further. And it takes me so long to do a video. I don't want to lose a video. So as I say, I'm now CCing everything to a social media lawyer, and they have basically stated that it's better to let all these things build up, because the more issues, the stronger a case. And then you can talk about, if they're taking your videos down, then it's theft of your content, your time. You can put all your work hours in. Because I've told everyone that I've got brain damage. Obviously you can bring in other issues there, picking on someone when it's not everyone's channel. I've talked before about how some super huge channels deliberately play copyright music and never get taken down, and they laugh, they give us copyrights, and they never do. I've actually brought that to YouTube's attention, no response. So yes, as I say, I can add in from a lawyer point of view. I can bring in the hours of making a video, let them take some down, the hours of that, the lost revenue if those channels ever became monetized. You can also then say stop your channel monetizing because they've taken away your videos for views. So it's theft in many different ways. So as I'm saying, when I'm trying to reset my reset button, due to social media and computers not set up for disabled people like myself, I have to trail through how to do things. And as I say, I've also done everything in my power to let the people know that the music issues, and if they choose not to respond to me, deliberately delete all my messages without coming back to me, they are actually in the wrong as well. I've done everything in my power to let them know what's going on, so I have no alternative but to let any further issues build up, and I have a much stronger case. So everything is now CC'd, sent on to the lawyer. And I do have a small background in law. And I always like to remind you, law does not protect the big companies. So I will continue to absorb myself in your lovely comments. It was a little bit rambly today, I'm afraid. I'm just trying to get everything into perspective. They are actually in the process of trying to stop a lot of smaller channels because they've only got so much ads. They're losing, a lot of the big channels are losing a lot of revenue because people are getting bored with some of the bigger channels. So they don't like the smaller channels coming in, because the bigger channels with the big adverts and the sponsorships and so on and so forth, they will only keep making videos while they are making big money. So they are actually trying to push some other channels out. And the channel of mine where the issues are my two non-monetized channels. So you might think, why is that then? Why are they targeting them? Well, one thing you may not know is if you never go on your content, so go into your channel, go on content, keep scrolling all the way down all your videos, and where it would say copyright or none, if you see anything that says copyright, they're trying to go back to your older videos, that you're never going to go scrolling back down your content of your old videos. They will put copyrights in there. Come the day when you're hitting monetization, you won't know they've had copyright on them, and straight away your income is going to these other places. So you only get a small bit of income anyway, and that will be on these copyrights. So that if you're not monetized, just go and have a look at your content. So click on the left side and where it says content, when you're in your channel, just scroll down and see how many of them say that. Now, I did have something back from Bensounds. I'm going to tell you, Bensounds is the place to go for music. They have done everything in their power to help me. They've responded very quickly, so we'll stick with those. And they've actually told me a little tip that I didn't know. I know if you hover over things, sometimes screens pop up. But they said, go to your video URL, screenshot to them the claim details, locate your video in where I've said your content, select your copyright claim, select where it says see details, then screenshot that. Now this is the bit I didn't know. Then screenshot that while hovering over the second column. And that proved very interesting, because then it says the copyright ownership info also appears on your screenshot, and they want this screenshot when you're in see details, hovering over the second column, which is where it says under impact on video. And you will see something very interesting there. So if you've got issues, do go there. But as I say, the bottom line of all this is they're trying to get people to leave YouTube. I was this close because they're quashing what I do YouTube for hassle-free, enjoying it, being creative. I love adding music. Somebody said don't use music. Well, my dance channel, I can't use the music that my choreography was done to. I don't want dancing going on with no sound. I have to put music over the original music, and this was the channel where the issues were, but not because of that. So I need to use music. It's not a case of I'm choosing to use it. It's not a chatty channel. It's a lot of it is dance choreography that I've done in the past, and obviously need to put music over the music. So arts, creative and all that, and I've actually done a lot of music to fit certain things as well. So just to take that all out and throw another bit of music on, and you'll notice what happens is with the copyright as well, the easiest method if you really are wrong using music is trim out that bit of music or override the music, and it always gives you YouTube music. You can't go and choose another bit of music from somewhere else and paste it over. You have to use YouTube's music, which they are being paid a fortune to have their YouTube music site. So just bear that in mind every time you go, oh, I'll just go over it with other music. Your only alternative is again to use the YouTube music. So do fight, make sure you are right, but fight to use the music. So will I be quitting YouTube? Not till my head explodes, which it was very close to doing. But as I say, I like fair play, and yes, the thought was there, and my husband keeps saying it. It's so much effort for me to make a video. He said, why do you bother? Why bother then? Just don't do it anymore. But I thought it was more important to come and make this video. So let me know in the comments below your situation regarding music. One of my friends did actually tell me, to prove the point, that one of her friends is a musician. He writes his own music, and that is the only music he ever uses on his videos, and he's constantly getting copyright strike claims. So if that doesn't wrap it all up, I don't know what does. And that's the other thing. Any other social media, you can use any music without copyright claims. If you don't know why that is, it's because Facebook and TikTok, they actually pay upfront for copyright. So they are paying because they know kiddies on TikTok, for example, won't make videos if they got to, oh, can I use this? Can I not use this? And they can't charge children a subscription to use any music. So TikTok pays for copyrights over everything, so anyone can use any music. YouTube doesn't do that because they want you to pay them or use their music library so they get revenue. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.